All right, guys. Good morning. Welcome back to the live room. Let me know if you guys can hear my voice, see my screen. I know I still sound awful, guys. I'm not over this sickness, so I sound horrible, but I'm trying my best to come in. I don't like taking days off, so I figured I'd rather come in with a scratchy, raspy, bad voice than leave you guys with nothing. Can you guys hear me? Um, and see screen, all that fun stuff? Give me a yes. Perfect, perfect, perfect. We're probably going to make this a short session today, just because based off yesterday, I was only able to make it about an hour, and then things got really bad with the throat. So we're gonna try and just do a half session today and make the most out of it. But excited to be here. Also, if you guys are watching on social media, something I've been doing is I've been opening up this live room on social media for really the first pair that we look at. So I got some good feedback yesterday. I apologize. I'm not watching the chats over on Facebook or TradingView or YouTube, anything like that. I'll do that on the weekend video where it's more of a public video. This is kind of more of a deal where you get to kind of look in on the live room and check out the first trading opportunity that is on our radar for the day ahead. So I want to start off as we always do. Ooh, you see, the voice is going already. By looking at the economic calendar, because yesterday we saw some pretty good reactions in the market. We had our Fed Chair Powell speaking at 10 o'clock. He's going to continue that testimony today at 10 o'clock as well. And we also have our jobs number, right? December has snuck up on us very quickly. It is the first week. And the first Friday of each month, for the most part, is going to be our jobs day, where we have our non-farm payrolls, our unemployment, all that fun stuff, which historically is a major time in the market. We haven't seen the impact from it like we did when I first started trading, like back in early 2000s. But it still is something that we should pay attention to. And today at 8:15 is going to be our ADP non-farm employment change, which essentially or traditionally is looked at as the precursor to our jobs number on Friday. So the market will look to gauge the result of this morning's number and anticipate what's going to happen on Friday. Did any of you guys ever trade the non-farms? I stay as far away from my computer as possible, as I do with most major news events. And again, major news events aren't necessarily red ones on your calendar, but ones that I deem are going to have a massive impact, like a interest rate decision, FOMC statement, stuff like that. But there was a time, believe it or not, where I used to trade them. I did a lot of dumb stuff. I think I always say one of the reasons I became such a good teacher is because I did all of the dumb stuff that you guys will do or have thinking about doing. And back in the day when I was recklessly trading the markets, I traded the non-farms and I hit on it. And this was back in like 2009s or 2008, 2009s. So it was routine that we can see like a couple hundred pip move in a matter of seconds, right? So I just happened to be in the market at the right time in the right direction, and I made like 200 pips in like 5 minutes, right? Massive gains in 5 minutes. And what do you think the first thing I told myself was? What do you think my reaction, the young dumb Akil? What do you think I told myself? Do you think I got lucky or was I skilled? Chris says, I am a god. Yes. I am a trading god. I am amazing. So I had this brilliant idea where I said I wanted to get into trading because of freedom of time anyway. So this kind of reinforced that. I said, you know what? I'm just going to come in the market. I'm going to trade once a month. I'm going to hit this non-farms and I'm going to travel the world for the rest of the month. So I would travel the world for like 28 days out of the month. I'd come back for each non-farm Friday or just do it wherever I'm at in the world. I'd make my 200 pips and then I'd travel and do nothing again for the next 30 days. Doesn't that sound like the life? How do you think that turned out? Yeah, not so good. not so good. But at the time, I was again young and dumb, and that's what I thought we would happen. And that reminds me of a story. I haven't told this one in a while, but there was this trader I worked with. His name was Darren Butt over in the UK, the closest thing I know to James Bond. And he had an awesome story that was kind of similar to mine, but um, a little bit the opposite, where he was trading and he didn't have any rules. He was recklessly doing something, and like most of us, and he was trading while he was at work, right? And so he's in this trade, he's at work, and he's looking at this trade. I think it's like on the pound dollar or something, and it's like tanking, right? And we've all been to that point in our trading where, we've kind of just given up. We're looking at it, we're like, oh, another loser, more red. And it's just going down, going down, going down. And we stop caring about it, right? So he's at work, he's looking at this losing trade. He's like, F that, this is dumb, whatever, I'm going home. So something happens, like a news event or something happens while he's on his way home, right? And this pound dollar trade goes up like a million pips in his favor. And like his broker, right? His broker is calling him left and right, right? Because he's trying to tell him, like, dude, he said, your position is up so much, but he's not answering the phone. So finally he gets off the train and he answers his phone. He's like, who keeps calling me? And his broker's like, hey man, remember that pound dollar position you're in? You're up like a million points, right? He's like, now I can't exit the trade on your behalf, but you have to go and do it by yourself. And he's like, what? So he like he told this story so awesome. Like he's at his door and he's got like a nice family, wife, 2 kids, right? His wife and 2 kids come out to like hug him and greet him, and he just like stiff arms him, pushes him out the way because he's in a full out sprint to get to his computer to close this trade. And he ends up closing out this trade. He ends up making like a massive amount of money. And what do you think the first thing he says to himself after that is? I'll give you a clue. He's the opposite of me. And this was the kind of the game-changing moment. So he didn't think he was a god. He admitted to himself that he got lucky. He admitted to himself that he got lucky. So instead of what most traders would do, like, oh, I'm awesome. He knew it was a lucky trade. He made some money, but it also gave him an inside look at what the markets could provide. And he used that as motivation to actually learn how to do this the right way instead of just like banking on his luck and blowing on that money a week later. Fast forward 5 years later, this is what he does all day. He goes on his boat, he trades in the morning, he plays around the golf at night, goes home and hangs with his family. Wakes up, goes on his boat, trades in the morning, plays around the golf, goes back and hangs with his family. So 2 different stories. Dumb Akil thought I was a god and proceeded to blow my money the next month because I wasn't lucky. I figured it out. Darren Butt, smart enough to understand that, hey, I got lucky. And I'm gonna invest this money the right way. I'm gonna invest this money, get myself educated so that I can do this same thing, but have it not be luck. So always a cool little story. So 8:15 today, and then 10 o'clock. And then we have news for the rest of the week coming out. I want to start today. My trade of the day today is going to be there's a massive amount of head and shoulders out there in the market. And we're going to start with one on, where am I going to go here? We're going to go to the Nasdaq, do something a little different today. And this is an interesting scenario. Because there's 2 potential trading opportunities, and I think it's going to be a good example of why we want to wait until we get a signal instead of just jumping in right away as soon as we feel like something's there. So you guys by now know my opinion on most major indices, right? What is the path of least resistance? Is it up? Is it down? On most. Some of them consolidate. I was looking at the Australian S&P earlier. That's got a whole bunch of junk happening up here. Yeah, the path of least resistance is going up. So what I look for is cheap opportunities to buy. And we have something interesting right here. So we have the market kind of going back to our basics of reading a price chart, right? We have the market after our most recent pullback creating a new structure high right here. We have another pullback. We have another new structure high. Then we have 2 tests of this level, right? And we know these are, although one is red and one is green, right? These are 2 bull positive candles. Would you guys agree? Boom and boom. Yep. Why are they two bull positive candles? Um, Real quick, someone you says, I know for years you always get sick. Would you say you're a stressed out person? I hear that makes us get sick. No, actually, believe it or not, I rarely get sick. This is, I probably get sick about once a year. Um, yeah. I mean, there is stress that comes with. I'm a trader. I'm a coach. Those are two of the most stressful things you can do. But yeah, I actually rarely get sick. I feel good now. My voice is just done. Um, Now my neck and back problem is a whole different story. But yeah, these are two bullish candles, right? Despite one being red and one being green, just looking at the formation of price spiking down and getting rejected up, these are bullish signs, right? We then have this big red candle. Now, we need to keep in mind, and this is why it's important to kind of be consistent with your analysis. We have this big red candle that engulfs it. Now, who remembers what this red candle is? Because that is a lower close. That is a very strong bearish candle. Doesn't violate our previous outside return. So it doesn't do anything to our structural integrity. But this was our Black Friday candle, right? November 26th, the day after Thanksgiving. This was the, what's it called? Unicorn variant? Gosh, I forget it. The unicorn scare? Yes, I do have a YouTube. Yep. Someone's asking on TradingView. You're going to be surprised of how much free content over there as well. Omnicron. There we go. Omnicron, right? So we saw that fear into the market. I've already given you my conspiracy theory about that fear and how it works, how news is a tool used to influence the public, so that puppet masters behind the scenes can actually do what they want to do. And we saw that engulf the very next day. Yesterday, we did have another test and we closed within the half of our previous candles. We're in a good amount of consolidation. So two things I'm looking for here, and this is going to depend on really your overall outlook of the market. So if you are someone who is looking bearish, right? If you are someone who is looking bearish, you've got a potential head and shoulders top setting up right now, right? You've got a left shoulder right here. You've got your first pullback. You've got your small extension, which is your head. You've got your retest of the neckline, and you've got your right shoulder, right? If there we go. If you violate this neckline, whether it's going to be a slanted neckline up there, you want to go a horizontal neckline right there. If price action violates that neckline, then that's going to be a very good bearish sign. So a sign that price action is going to put in a deeper retracement and continue lower. If we go down one more time frame to the 4-hour, right? Ooh, 4-hour, voice squeaking. What do we have here on the 4-hour? Can any of you guys see it? What do you guys see? What do you guys see? Yeah, we've got another head and shoulders, right? We've got a left shoulder right here after our bearish directional move. We've got a head down here. We've got a return to our neckline up here. And we have a right shoulder right here. So just as we did with the potential head and shoulders top, right? The key point that I need to see violated to have a bullish or make a bullish prediction is going to be this high watermark right here. So now as a trader, right, just because we identify this, and obviously it's going to change depending on your style of trading, but this is where you wait, right? Is there any reason to jump into this right now? That's the mistake a lot of traders do, fear of missing out. Well, I got to jump in it right now because I don't want to miss it. We don't want to jump into it. We want to be predictive with our analysis, reactive with our execution. So we want to make our predictions. If this happens, then I would expect this. But then we want to wait for that confirmation signal. And a head and shoulders pattern, and again, there's aggressive and conservative ways to enter it. You could be aggressive and enter at the right shoulder for all I care. There are pros and cons that come with that. But the confirmation of the pattern, so what makes the pattern actually valid, is the violation of that neckline. So the break and close, that's how we define violation around here. Does that make sense? So if you're looking for a bullish opportunity, wait for the violation of this level. And then, of course, depending on your trading style, if you're a breakout trader, you can trade it right away. If you're a pullback trader, you wait for the pullback. But now you have the opportunity to yourself up for longs. Now, something that could happen too, or really early, if you want to be kind of that intermediate aggressive form, pay attention to how price action reacts as we get closer to this level. You guys know how I feel. If we get a tight consolidation, like a high and tight flag, and especially if we get some positive candles, meaning actually reading the candlestick and what it looks like, that could be an early sign of that breakout likely to happen. And what I mean by that is, like, so if we get a candle, we'll do a little test here. You guys can play along, right? If let's say we get up to this level, where's my little drawing deal here? Say we get up to this level and we start consolidating, right? If we get a candle that looks like this, where are we at here? Here we go. Is this a positive, negative, or no sign of a potential breakout? Positive, negative, or neutral? Question real quick on YouTube says, Akil, can you talk about when to do your analysis, like time you do your analysis and placing order executions? There's actually, if you look at the Trading Coach podcast, there's a whole podcast, I think, called My Trading Routine. I don't know. Let me just real quick. Trading Coach podcast. I actually walk you through my daily routine. But it's going to be different per person. Yeah. Episode 185. This is my trading routine. So Trading Coach podcast, episode 185. But I do all my analysis 6 o'clock in the morning. My pre-market. Yeah, indecision. So right. So this doesn't neutral, right? So it doesn't really give us any sign. Now, if we get a handful of candles that start looking like this, right? All of a sudden, does this give us any type of clue about what's about to happen? Or what can potentially happen? I hate using words about that. We don't know. Sorry about them pushing the wrong buttons here, guys. But you guys get what I'm saying. No, what did we talk about yesterday, Chris? Be confident. I don't care if you're right or wrong. If you're wrong, we'll just correct you. So just be confident. This isn't the trading forums, man. We're not gonna bash you. I'm gonna save that for the other secret chat where we bash you after the live room's over. Oh my gosh, did you hear what Chris said today? Oh, what an idiot. What an idiot. But yeah, right? So these are positive candles, right? These are bullish candles. Whether they're red or green doesn't matter. These are bullish candles because of how they form, the story that they print. Price tried to move lower and got rejected. Price tried to move lower and got rejected. So this is why it's important, right? We talk about this all the time about traders who rush through, right? No one wants to learn how to read a candlestick because they don't see it as being important to like their trading strategy. But at the end of the day, these are the most important clues you can get, right? Range and spread analysis leave very important clues. So that could give, especially if you're a breakout trader, that could give a very important clue for a potential breakout. So that's what I'm looking at on, there we go, the Nasdaq. Voice is hanging in there. Any questions about this before I shut down the other streaming sites and we dig into more opportunities here in the live room? Live rumors, I have about, I forgot what I had on my radar. There's a bunch on my radar, but it's all the same. It's all the same. So you're going to get hammered over the head this morning with a lot of the same type of opportunities, but that's not a bad thing, repetition. But any questions on NASDAQ, guys? All right, cool. Let me shut down the social sites and let me know what pair you guys want to go to next. If not, I will choose one of my own.